Hey guys, what's up? It's Sam. So welcome back to yet another Tea Talk. If you haven't already, pause the video, grab yourself a tea or something else to drink as you listen. Or some of you have said that you actually draw while you listen to these, which I think is so nice. People are like, sorry I didn't watch the speed paint this time around. I'm like, don't worry about the speed paint. Forget about the speed paint. Focus on your work. That's just kind of there as a background thing, and don't feel bad if you want to mute my voice, if you get sick of it and you just want to watch the speed paint or skip on through or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about self-care for artists. And what that means is just prioritizing your health, mental, physical, and not allowing yourself to get swept up not allowing yourself to overwork yourself. And I think we kind of make sacrifices, like we're like, I want to improve so badly, or I have to get this thing done by this time, and you get stressed out about it, so you're like, I'll skip a meal, or tonight I just won't sleep, or maybe I'll get in a couple hours, or it leaks over into your social life where you're, bailing out on people you made plans with, or not seeing your family as much, or you're just inside the house all day, or you don't take breaks. Like, I'm on Twitter a lot, actually, kind of relevant this week. And it's kind of ironic given the fact that last week's video was about the art community and I was talking about how much I love social media, but this week I've actually had to take a break from it. I realized that my mindset with it was getting a bit unhealthy, and I was kind of obsessing over the likes thing and whatever, and it's mostly because of YouTube. These videos, it's not easy for me to put myself out there. I'm actually a very private person, so I mean, I'm very personal with people that I know personally and I'm close with, and I'll talk about things that most people really won't talk about with themselves, especially with mental health and whatever. I'm very upfront about that with people in my life. But when you're kind of spilling all of that out to unknowns on the internet, or perfect strangers, or people who are just seeing you for the first time, it's very unnerving. So I'm trying to distance myself from social media for a little bit because it's a little hard for me to do. I keep second guessing myself. I keep, wondering, why is this video not doing as well as this video? Or, it's bad. It's a very toxic mindset. And it's not like crippling or, terrible, but it's a bit of a rabbit hole. Once you get sucked into it, it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So before I get to that, I decided to take a little bit of a break. I am actually playing Stardew Valley now, so that's sucking up all of my time that I'm not spending working on stuff for you guys. But yeah, so breaks are very important, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this. Another thing was, sorry, backing up a little bit. As you can tell, these are totally scripted. I always say that. I know. But so I go on Twitter, not so much this week, but before, and I look and I see like artists who are saying, "Oh yeah, I've been streaming for 12 hours. I haven't eaten anything, or I haven't taken. I only took one break to pee," or like, or they're talking about how they're experiencing wrist pain or hand pain, but they still have a lot to do tonight, or they're talking about how they do have like tendonitis or carpal tunnel, or they feel like they're developing that. And it's kind of scary stuff. And maybe it takes a certain kind of person. Like, for myself, I think it requires a bit of an obsessive, very driven personality to be an artist who is creating on a regular basis and is constantly improving and stuff like that. Like, you need to be a little bit obsessive and a little bit, more driven than the average person. And for myself, I definitely am. And I justify missing sleep, or like missing a meal, or not getting that glass of water that I should have, even though I'm definitely dehydrated, or I justify not going out and seeing people because I'm like, well, you know, work is more important to me, so I'm gonna do that. Or sometimes you just have so much to do, you know, you don't have time for any of that. So yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. So I guess you can break this up into two sort of categories. You have the physical and you have the mental. For myself, I have to stay on top of, you know, my mental and emotional health because I am not the picture of mental health. I can spiral down into very deep depression where I'm not really able to do anything, or, you know, stuff like that, where it gets to the point where I'm just not able to function like a normal person. And so if I don't stay on top of it and I'm not consciously doing things to stay on top of it, then, you know, it gets bad. And it's kind of hard to recover from it at a certain point. So I don't want to get to that point. So anyway, it's important to me, but you can't neglect the physical stuff because, again, that does actually have a big impact on your mental health. And so yeah, what I do is I really prioritize like taking breaks. So I stretch every day, or I try and stretch every day. I keep water by my desk. Obviously not anywhere near where my keyboard is or where my actual computer is, but within reach. So I drink from it, you know, as I'm working or whatever. I like to keep snacks by my desk. So even if I'm accidentally skipping meals, I'm still eating throughout the course of the day. And it just so happens that I'm like a grazer, right? So I like to eat a lot of little meals, or I like to snack a lot between meals throughout the day, which I've heard is good for you actually. But I'm lazy. I'm lazy to the point, or I get so focused in on what I'm doing, what I'm drawing, what I'm working on, that I can't justify getting up, stopping what I'm working on, going downstairs, making myself a meal, or grabbing myself a glass of water once I'm in the zone, right? So I just keep it within reach, and then that's taken care of a little bit. That said, eating regularly, keeping a schedule for eating is very important. And there's actually apps to help you remember these things, like eating or drinking water. There's a lot of apps dedicated toward self-care. For the water ones, for example, most people don't drink enough water, and that does affect a lot of other things. But I'm not a doctor. Let me actually just say that right now. Make it very clear. Let me shout it out. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. But which brings us to our next thing. I did mention stretches. I do like all over body stretches, and I just like stretch my back, and it makes me feel more awake, and I stretch my arms and all that. But stretches for hands, wrists, arms are really good. And what I recommend looking up, and if I can, I'll try and maybe link some resources down below for repetitive strain injury. So that does include things like carpal tunnel, tendonitis, other things like that. And doing those stretches, even if you don't have that, anything that falls under that bracket of the, you know, the repetitive strain injury, doing it as a preventative thing is really good. Another thing I keep by my desk is bowding balls, I think they're called. They're like two little metallic, or like little metal balls that I guess maybe they originated in China, or, you know, somewhere in that area. But they're two balls. You place them in your hand, and you rotate them with just your fingers, just in the one hand, but they can't touch. So it does help like with the dexterity and to kind of stretch things out, or, you know, stretch out the tendons and do all that sort of thing. I'm okay with them, but like I can't do them super quickly, and I can only do it in one direction, so I'm trying to work on that. But one thing it does help for, though, it's really calming, and they have these bells, and then let me just chime them for you really quick. So that's what it sounds like when you're doing them, and it's really calming and nice. So that kind of brings us to the mental aspect, which is taking a break from your art, walking away from it, especially when you think you're getting frustrated or you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed out or anxious or whatever. Take a break, completely close it off, like save your work or whatever, but keep it away from view and stop thinking about it for a little bit. Like, give yourself a total break. I mentioned before the social media thing. Once I just found out that, it was becoming a little bit toxic for me. Again, it's not on it. It's not on anyone else. That's not why I'm taking the break or whatever. It's completely my mindset is a little bit messed up. So I need to just take a break, learn to relax, learn to just go with the flow, whatever. But yeah. I do kind of want to talk a bit more about the social media thing though. Um, I did mention that it very positive in my life and whatever, but too much of anything isn't good. There was a story about a girl who, I guess she was really popular on social media. I don't even really know who she was until I heard this story. I can't even remember her name, but she decided, oh, social media is horrible. She's gonna completely go off of it and all this other stuff. Turns out she didn't completely remove herself from it, but she removed herself enough where she could still shout to the heavens that it was this horrible thing and people need to stop using it or whatever. I don't remember the full story, but that's what I got from it. And I don't think it's a horrible thing, but I do think that when something becomes a source of negativity or whatever, or it's not helping you, or it's kind of preventing you from furthering yourself in a positive way and growing in a positive way, then you need to take a break from it. And that's kind of what I've been doing. And when I return to it, I'm sure I'm going to love it again. But it's actually hard to stay away from that stuff. I'm still kind of looking at my Twitter, even though I'm not posting, and it's terrible. Especially since I committed to still posting my work, so I keep like a steady flow of stuff going. But yeah, I didn't black it out completely, unfortunately, which maybe I should have done. But stress relief is a big thing. For me, my biggest stress relief is my pets, and they can be quite stressful. I have a very energetic, rambunctious, needy German Shepherd Collie mix who constantly needs exercise throughout the day. And constantly needs attention and love, and he's very smart and crafty, so you need to stay on top of him in terms of like the training and stuff like that. So, but I love him, and he's my. I know people get mad when they say this, but when I like say this, but he's my baby. I love him so much. So he makes me happy. My cats make me happy. The pug makes me happy. I love them, and they do really relax me. So that's one thing. Stepping outside and just like getting in the sun, and I usually do it when I'm playing with my dogs because I'm throwing the frisbee for my dog 10 times a day, so I have to do that. Reading is another thing. I wish I read a little bit more, but it is hard to justify the time put into it. But even if it comes down to like watching a movie or something to help you unwind, podcasts really help me, especially with anxiety. I don't know what it is, but hearing someone's voice, and I guess it's kind of ironic, maybe, am I helping you right now? I don't know. But hearing someone talking when I have so many thoughts going through my head, like, oh, I need to do this, oh, I need to do that, and I don't know. It shuts out the voices because like you can't focus in on those little inner voices. And no, I don't hear voices. Okay, I know I come across as a little bit loopy, but I don't. Anyway, that's not what I meant. But anyway, what was I even saying? But yeah, having someone talking, it kind of focusing in on their words. It's very meditative. I don't know what it is. And plus you learn lots of things and whatever. I use it actually to help me focus when I am marathoning work. In between breaks, of course. But it helps me to de-stress and take my mind off of things and focus in on what they're saying. Or whatever other hobbies you have. Like, I don't know, painting your nails or like other creative things like knitting or writing. I don't know, whatever your outlets are, what makes you happy? Like, what is something that helps you de-stress? Do it. Meditating. I don't really do this. I find that drawing is meditating when I'm drawing something for myself. But when I need to stop drawing completely, I don't know what I do. I listen to podcasts. I play with my dogs. I don't really meditate. I'm not a very spiritual person. In fact, I'm not at all a spiritual person. But that said, I do love scented candles, and I've just discovered this recently. My sister gave me this birthday cake scented candle for my birthday way back in December, but I haven't actually like sparked it up until recently. But when my computer, like when the drivers are like quitting on me or my tablet isn't working or whatever, I just kind of put on the, spark up the scented candle, and I feel a little bit better and a little more zen and a little bit more like prepared to deal with certain things. Listening to music, singing, dancing, I'm a bad dancer, okay? I'm white as hell. I am white as hell. I'm the worst dancer, but sometimes I'll dance to like, I love Grimes. I always talk about Grimes, but she's what I dance to. Or when I'm working, I love to put on like a Disney playlist, and like I've even streamed it before, but I didn't stream a mic, and like I just sing top of my lungs, like I'm not gonna try right now, but I love it. But like doing little sing-alongs as I'm working feels very empowering. I don't know. And sometimes I'll have the window open for like fresh air, so I'm sure my neighbors actually hear all this. It's terrible. But yeah, do things that make you happy. I don't know. Another thing I like is buying myself something if I can. I'm a bit of a broke bitch, so that's not always possible, but when it is, it's nice to do. Or like just rewarding yourself in little ways, like allowing yourself to do things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise do. I know it sounds bad, I'm talking about like self-care or whatever, but like sometimes I'll just get myself a bag of chips, like, and reward myself for, I don't know, a tough week or whatever. Or taking a bath is one I do when I'm really anxious, and I'm really stressed out, and I just need to like shut my brain off. And often I'll have like a podcast or something going on in the background, and like I don't do the scented candles in the bath thing. Oh, that sounds nice. I like to keep them with my workspace though, but bath is nice if you're able to do that. I know not everyone has like a bathtub in their house, but yeah, so that's kind of it, right? Just don't forget to take care of yourself. Like, I do have this very conflicting mindset when it comes to art. On one hand, I have a very militant, like, just do it, like, get it done, put in the hours, work. And I have a lot of, like, very ambitious goals and stuff like that. And I have a lot of things on the go, and I have a lot of things I want to do, and I'm very driven to do that. And, like, I almost feel like I have to do it because, making a living as an artist is not an easy thing, and I don't want to be the stereotype for starving artist. I want to actually be able to make money doing what I love. And so I have this very work, improve, constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to, hone in on that. And so on one hand, I have that where I just want to keep working. And on the other hand, I'm like, I know what it's like to burn myself out. I know what it's like to have art block for 3 months because I put in, because I've been neglecting my mental health. I know what it's like to completely shut down. I know what it's like to be so hard on myself that it's hard to recover from that, because of that first mindset that I mentioned. So it's hard to find the in-between of like, yes, work your ass off, get it done, and take care of yourself. And actually, I do leave these videos with, be kind to yourself, never stop creating, which is kind of the two things, right? And it's just, you have to find a balance between those two things. And I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet. All I can say is do your best, take it one step at a time. Like, I should be taking walks, I should be exercising and stuff. And I feel like right now it's unthinkable for me to even, like, I can't think about that right now because I have so much to do, and it sounds bad, but I'm also taking steps in other areas to improve my health and to be able to function regularly, as I mentioned. So I don't, you just have to take it one step at a time, and like, don't, like, forgive yourself for messing up if you're messing up, if you do buy yourself a big bag of chips when you're like, hey, I'm only eating fruits and vegetables and good things, like, So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Just go at your own pace. We're all work in progress. Like, I don't know. I know this sounds all like. I hope this doesn't come across as so preachy, but it is something that I did want to mention. I did want to make a video about because it's so important, and I think a lot of us neglect these things, and I know I neglect them in certain areas. And, you know, just pledge to do better with me and struggle with me when it comes to this. So tell me in the comments below before I leave you guys this lovely Sunday. It's not even Sunday yet. I pre-recorded this, but you'll probably hear by Sunday. Tell me in the comments below what you do to kind of de-stress and to stay healthy and happy and productive, and yeah, and look through comment on other people's things too, and see maybe if you can incorporate some of what they've done into your schedule, or was there something that you heard here that maybe you might think to incorporate into your schedule, not your schedule, your like habit routine. But yeah, comment below. Let me know. Anyway, I'll leave you with this. As always, be kind to yourself and never stop creating.